Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Koboman. Today we're going to talk about proxy and proxy servers. Okay, so that's our topic for today, and we're going to talk about it in such a way where it's easy to understand for anybody who is new to IT or somebody who is just now starting to work IT. This is important to know because in a business environment, proxies and proxy servers are used to filter, route, and control internet traffic. So for example, if you have a computer at work, you're using your computer at work, and let's just make it look like a computer at work. Let's do some nice label action here. Okay, just a moment, bear with me please. So this is your computer at work, and now you're suddenly wanting to go to google.com when you open up your internet browser. You open up your internet browser and you type in google.com on your computer that is at work. And then suddenly you may get a message that says, well, you're not allowed to visit google.com. Not allowed to visit google.com. You would get a message like this, or it would be something similar to that. That's what you would get a message inside of your internet browser. So your Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, etc. You would get this message and you suddenly cannot reach. And you may even get a warning. It says it's against company's policies for you to use google.com. So you may get these error messages when trying to reach google.com or any other website that's being blocked by a proxy server. Okay, so now we know what proxy does, but how does it do this? Well, there is a thing called a proxy server that controls this. There are actually multiple, in companies there are actually multiple proxy servers, in which we'll talk about that as well, but in this case we're going to concentrate on one and then go from there. Let me just do some adjustments here. So this is your computer work. I'm going to keep it like that, and now we're going to create a proxy server. Proxy server. And we're going to create a nice icon for it. It's going to be one of these. Okay. So this is going to be our proxy server. Matter of fact, let me change this to some teal action. So that's a proxy server. So that error that you've received when trying to reach google.com, the error was provided by the proxy server because your computer has to go through the proxy server before it reaches the internet. So here is the situation here. And then we've got internet as in we're going to say google.com, right, to keep it simple. Internet google.com, final destination. We're going to label this as green, and we're going to call it, I'm going to draw a nice circle for it. Okay, so that's your final destination. Okay. All right, that's good enough, I think. So what happens is you would try to reach google.com here, and then that traffic, that request has to go through the proxy server first, and then proxy server settings in here will decide whether you are allowed to visit google.com. And then it either gives you that error or it sends you to google.com from the proxy server. Either way, you have to go through the proxy server in order to reach google.com or any other website. So it means its purpose is to control internet access for companies, for users that are working for the companies, for security purposes. So how does it work on a proxy server? How does it happen whenever you have 1,000 computers that are trying to reach google.com or any other websites? Well, sometimes one server cannot handle all of this traffic, and for those reasons you have multiple servers. Now, since we talked about browser and internet browser and how your computer has to go through the proxy server, this is where it actually happens. If you go to internet settings, internet options on your computer, just open up your computer right now, and if you go to connections and if you go to LAN settings, you can see here whether there is a proxy setup. Usually this would be set up like this, automatically detect settings, but if you use automatic configuration script, you can specify with the location of the server. And I'm going to leave it at that. So if you're on a work computer, open up internet options, go to connections, LAN settings, and see what's in here. It would be set up like this. Sometimes it will be set up like this here too, but it's usually done for, for VPN connections. But most likely you will see something in here that is pointing to the proxy server. So if you're, just real quick, if you're having issues reaching google.com and you know you're supposed to be able to, and let's say multiple people at your company are having issues reaching google.com, then the issue is most likely the proxy server itself. Sometimes you'd have multiple proxy servers, and for those reasons you might want to try a different proxy server as a temporary solution. However, group policy will change this once you reboot your computer or within, 90 minutes or whatever it's set up to. But you can temporarily change it to a working proxy to resolve this issue temporarily. So keep in mind that you may have multiple proxy servers with multiple locations of those servers. Alright, let me talk about multiple proxies and how proxy servers are able to handle a lot of traffic. So let's create server 1, server 2, and server 3. Let's label them. I'm going to call proxy 1, proxy 2, I enabled that proxy, okay. Proxy 2, and then we've got proxy 3. So the request that you send from your computer here, whenever you're trying to reach google.com or any other websites, it goes to the first proxy server with the least amount of load on it. Meaning that if this server has 50% load on it, meaning that it's using 50% of its processing power to process all these people who are trying to reach the internet, then if that's the threshold of reaching, if that's the threshold of maximum load on this proxy 1, then your request might switch over to proxy 2. So instead of hitting the proxy server 1, you might be routed to a proxy server 2, which has let's say 30% workload. And then we've got proxy 3, which may be at any percentage, but let's call it 35% load. So the load is distributed based off settings that are set up on the proxy servers in order to handle multiple requests. So this is called load balancing. Load balancing. Just like that. And what it does is balances the load, the workload, let's just say that, in order to handle incoming traffic from, let's say, 1,000 people that are working for this company. So that way you can process these so that the internet is fast and it works like it's supposed to. And they work together. And you may have even more. Like I said, you may have different proxy servers at different locations, this and that, but you know, depending on the size of the company. But that's in a nutshell how it works. So if you're having problems with internet connection at work, and check to see if local websites work. Let's say your work name is mywork.com, that's your main website. Chances are that website might work fine because it's on a local network. However, if you're trying to reach like google.com, any other websites that are normally accessible and they're not working and they're supposed to be working, then chances are the issue is with the proxy servers. So for those reasons, you might want to contact the network team or whoever is in charge of proxy servers. That's my simple explanation of this. I hope you like it. Please let me know. Please subscribe so we can get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate that. And in the comment below, if you can say hi, hello, or present as a sort of like a roll call in the class, so that way I know people are still interested in this type of content. Thank you so much, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.